You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. That's a perfect way to get into our next cricket discussion, and it's about Australian cricket. Australian cricket's been in sort of an up and down state of late. And Gabe, you did a cricket convo on Australian cricket. I'll get your thoughts on that. Is Australia in crisis, Gabe?
You know, I think it's not about necessarily being in crisis, but, and I'm, here it goes, man. A couple more subs you're going to lose. I think it's time to take a hard look at who's helming the ship. You know what I mean? And I don't think that JL currently has that team. So you got to be able to command your team. If you're a coach or manager in the sport, you got to be able to command the team, and you've got to be able to command the respect of the troops. And right now, they're just in a very, very bad place as a team, not just because of injuries, but because obviously we know a lot of the drama that's happened as well. And I mean, to me, I think some of the decisions, like leaving off Uzi, I don't understand that. I read on the Cricket Australia that he had scored like a century or something like that, or 2 centuries back to back before they made their selection for that New Zealand test, and not the New Zealand test, and they left him off. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm just like, just politics. And I think that it may be time to move on from the current management and the current coaching staff. That's just my opinion. Mind you, guys, I'm saying the same thing, and Nick will tell you right now about the Yankees. Fire everybody. Get rid of Aaron Boone. Because you've got talented players there. When you got a Patty Cummings, when you got a Warner, when you got these guys, you've got talented players. So if you got a talented bunch of guys that helped you get to the win the Ashes or retain the Ashes, I should say, 2 years ago, what's the common denomination? What's changed there? You know what I mean? And I think it starts at the top, but that's just my opinion.
Yes, that's right. They have been it's consistency in all formats. Last summer wasn't a great summer in the test matches. We didn't go to South Africa, off the field stuff as well. Justin Langer has just recently addressed the players about those concerns, and he felt it was pretty confronting. But he said it was a good thing to do, and we're on the right track to, start building the relationship again, which is very important. All the players back him. Aaron Finch, before they went off to the West Indies, said, "Yeah, we're 100% JL. We're going to back him." He's grumpy. That's just the way he is. But he needs to address those problems going forward, and that's what he does. Also, Australia, about their management, probably a change of selectors is required. The current selectors, obviously, one of them's been in there for a long time, Trevor Holmes, former player of Australia. He's been there for a while. Maybe get him out, get someone else who understands this modern era a bit more, someone who's from this current generation, which they do in George Bailey. They've done a review, Cricket Australia, into what happened last summer, about, where can we improve and all that stuff. Also, the captaincy debate after Tim Payne retires, who's going to take over? Is it going to be Steve Smith or Pat Cummins? I think it should be Pat Cummins. I don't think it should be Steve Smith, because, if you want to move away from Cape Town and what happened there, and everybody wants to, but you can't shut the door on that completely. I don't think picking Steve Smith's the right option, because people still have their, thoughts about what happened in Cape Town. They're not really too sure about him as captain. Pat Cummins has captained New South Wales domestically. The next thing for him is to captain in first class cricket. And then obviously he'll take over in the test side. That's if Tim Payne decides to retire after this Ashes series later on this year. He can play on for another year if he wants. It's up to him. But for me, captaincy doesn't sit well with some people. It doesn't sit well with Steve Smith. It's like Sachin Tendulkar from India. He was captain of India, didn't sit well with him because it interrupted his career. And, he's in a form slump. He wasn't really winning games. So I think when we do move away from Payne, we need to go into a different direction and a different captain, different, objective and goals for the team going forward. Justin Langer's contract doesn't expire until mid-2022. And he said he wants to coach beyond that. Depends on this summer. If the results go his way, then who knows? He may not last that long. But really, I like JL. I like what he's doing. Yeah, sure. He's not perfect. No one's perfect. He's trying his best. He's the coach. It's a tough job. But I think for Australian cricket, we just need to find our identity again. I think we need to stop worrying about being liked and just play cricket after what happened in Cape Town, because that's what we've been doing. We're focusing on being liked again. People will make their own minds up about that. You can't force people to like you. So you've got to really, just play cricket. Just focus on that. Your thoughts on that, Nick? Do you think Australian cricket's in crisis, or?
I have a few thoughts about Australia cricket, and some of them come from a video that we reacted to about people, commentators, sportcasters in Australia talking about it. And it seems like there's a consensus that the 18 or 20 guys that are invited to each tour are like the only guys in Australia that can play Test cricket. Like there are no other guys. And that kind of concerns me. You talk about going in a different direction. When you go into a different direction, we can call it rebuilding, whatever you want. People don't understand how painful that is for the first few years. Lots of growing pains when you go in a different direction, because if you're having a different mindset or a different situation, or you're going to say goodbye to some of maybe the aging guys. I'm not saying David Warner's an old man, but he has some off the field stuff. He has some kind of this or that. He's had some alien injuries or whatever. If you're going to go away from some of those guys, you're going to be finding yourself with those growing pains. But I'm a believer, growing pains bring the future success. If you keep doing the same thing that you're doing with the same guys, and I'm not talking about the Steve Smiths and the Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starks, they can stick around as long as they want, the Hazelwoods. I'm talking about the other guys that maybe are in and out. It's very challenging, but it seems like to me, living way far away from Australia, that a lot of Australian fans may not be too confident in who would they call upon. Gabe mentioned it, Uzi. I haven't heard his name mentioned myself, at least, even getting a chance. So I'm sure Australia's got the players in the domestic leagues and this or that can step up, that can get that chance. Maybe you talked about the selectors. It just seems like someone needs to decide what the direction is for Cricket Australia and then to move in that direction. Because if nothing else, Australia's proven that they've always been able to bring up very, very talented players. But those are my few thoughts.
That's right. And just finishing off about that, it is a very few testing months for Australia. If they don't do well in the T20 World Cup, well, really people more focusing on the Ashes and what we do there. But for the team, as I said, it's just about trying to play cricket, not being liked. People will make their own minds up. And Cricket Australia have lost their priorities in a way. We should be really focusing on this, clean up the dead garbage, the dead weight, get some new people in, some new ideas. Because I care about Australian cricket and where the team's going. I forgive the team for what happened in Cape Town. All right. Obviously it was a horrible mistake. Smith, Warner, and Bancroft. But for Australia, it's time to move on. It's like 3 years or something now. I just want to watch cricket, and the team should just focus about playing cricket. Obviously, media reports about Justin Langer, the confrontation with the players. Look, really, do you believe that stuff? What do you believe in the media? All that stuff. I don't read the media, the papers or anything like that. But really, let's just get on with playing cricket and trying to focus winning games for Australia. That should be Australia's goal, to be the best team in the world and to win games. Forget about the off-field stuff. That will happen naturally. People will criticize you and hate you with fans and all that stuff. Just get on with the job and playing cricket. And the players need to know that as well. Take responsibility for your performances, learn from them going forward to be better, do the work. People will praise you if you play good cricket. And that's the bottom line for Australia.
Yeah, win is a cure-all, man. Win is a cure-all. And all they got to do is win, and all those other problems go away. And I think that, you hit the nail on the head. It's like they're still trying to fight the shadow or the demons of Cape Town. Look, that's in the rear view, man. And for fans too, if you're a fan of Australian cricket, it's in the rear view. Guess what? It's not the first cheating scandal in cricket or any sport, because every sport had them. It's not going to be the last. That's just the unfortunate price we pay, because these athletes are under tremendous pressure. They absolutely are. And sometimes they, go against their better judgment to try to get an edge. Okay. Does that mean they're horrible people or horrible human beings? Absolutely not. It's, again, many of the men have gone down that road. And I think that redemption comes in being able to play the game the right way and win again. So I'm looking forward to seeing them win again.
Absolutely. What do you think of the state of Australian cricket? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe to Cricket for Americans, Boring Reviews, and The Final Reaction. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter. Until next time, keep safe, and bye for now.